And welcome back to Atreyu News. It is now Wednesday, May the 24th of 2017. This is happening right now in Chicago. Protesters have gathered in Chicago demanding minimum wage be increased to $15 an hour. What these people don't realize is that just raising the minimum wage will not solve the problem, short term or long term, and we can look no further than the socialist failed state called Venezuela to understand what I'm saying. Venezuela's president hiked the nation's minimum wage another 60% on Sunday in response to the country's ongoing economic crisis. President Nicolas Maduro announced the change on his weekly television show, in the latest in a series of hefty increases to the minimum wage that have been issued as the country's currency plunges in value. This article was made on May 1st, by the way. Though the wage hike sounds significant, the country's price of food, goods, and medicine is skyrocketing, which has made basic purchases too expensive for many Venezuelans. So we see it's a trickle-down effect. Medicine, goods, and food have skyrocketed. So getting back to Chicago, what do they think they're going to achieve by getting $15 an hour? I'm totally for a living wage. However, what they're asking for is a bit foolish because, number one, a minimum wage job typically does not deserve this much money per hour, because one of three things will happen. The company will either pack up and leave, the company will go out of business, or the worst, like what's happening in Venezuela, the price will just skyrocket. So they're $15 an hour, yeah, but it's a trickle-down effect. And that's what these leftists and Bernie Sanders perhaps don't really understand economically, is that the money has to come from somewhere. It's a trickle-down effect. You can't just pay people more and still charge the same amount for the product. It wouldn't make sense. Anyways, let's take a look.
There's all the people protesting in Chicago. Not too many people out there.
Breaking. Obama was just caught. It's over. Look at that picture. Brutal. It looks like Dumbo, kinda. Intelligence agencies under President Obama illegally spied on Americans for years, and they did not disclose their illegal activities until just before President Trump won the election. From Circa.com, the National Security Agency under former President Barack Obama routinely violated American privacy protections while scouring through overseas intercepts and failed to disclose the extent of the problems until the final days before Donald Trump was elected president last fall, according to one top-secret document that chronicles some of the most serious constitutional abuses to date by the U.S. intelligence community. More than 5%, or 1 out of every 20 searches seeking upstream internet data on Americans inside the NSA's so-called Section 702 database, violated the safeguards Obama and his intelligence chiefs vowed to follow in 2011, according to one classified internal report reviewed by Circa. The Obama administration self-disclosed the problems at a closed-door hearing October 26th before the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court that set off alarm. Trump was elected less than 2 weeks later. The normally supportive court censored administration officials, saying the failure to disclose the extent of the violations earlier amounted to an institutional lack of candor, and that the improper searches constituted a very serious Fourth Amendment issue. According to recently unsealed court document dated April 26th of 2017, the admitted violations undercut one of the primary defenses that the intelligence community and Obama officials have used in recent weeks to justify their snooping into incidental NSA intercepts about Americans. Circa has reported that there was a threefold increase in NSA data searches about Americans and a rise in the unmasking of U.S. persons' identities in intelligence reports after Obama loosened the privacy rules in 2011. Officials like former National Security Advisor Susan Rice have argued their activities were legal under the so-called minimization rule changes Obama made, and that the intelligence agencies were strictly monitored to avoid abuses. Well, of course they're gonna cloud it as that. The Intelligence Court and the NSA's own internal watchdog found that not to be true. Since 2011, NSA's minimization procedures have been prohibited use of the U.S. persons identifiers to query the results of upstream internet collections under Section 702. The unsealed court ruling declared the October 26 of 2016 notice informed the court that NSA analysts have been conducting such queries in violation of that prohibition with much greater frequency than have been previously disclosed to the court. Big Brother is watching you.